Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about our Amtrak vacation got canceled and how you can avoid it.
So disappointed. Our Adirondack train just got canceled. We had booked a vacation this fall and just got word that they've canceled the entire summer and early fall season for the Adirondack. And this one is hard to take because we've been trying to get on this train for a while.
We have been trying to get on this train since like the end of 2020, and it just problem after problem, and it seems like we thought we were safe by booking in September. Well, apparently that's not the case because that's actually all the way included in the season of the time of the year where that it's been canceled before. And it's a little bit frustrating because the thing too is that this isn't just like a one-off. We're doing an entire trip that actually starts in Los Angeles, all the way up, all the way across, and all the way down, kind of the reverse of what we did last year. And so this is really, really going to put a crimp in the end of our plans.
Yeah, exactly. We were supposed to get to Montreal, which last year, if you remember, we were there in the winter and it was so cold. We did enjoy it, but we didn't feel like we really got to see. We were there at Christmas before we rode the Canadian, so we were going to go back in the fall, ride across Canada, go to Montreal, and then we were actually planning on doing the ocean, which goes from Montreal to Halifax. But now with this Adirondack being canceled, we're having to rethink our entire trip, and it doesn't look like we're going to be able to do the ocean either because we're just going to be stranded in Montreal afterwards, and we don't really want to do that. So we're rethinking how we're going to do all that and figure out how to get back to the U.S. Probably going to have to go another route, either from Toronto or something like that. So that's off the table. Just super disappointing.
Yeah, and not just disappointing for us, but so many of you guys told us to take the ocean, and we were super excited. As a matter of fact, we saw, well, just the train by itself with no people in it, but we did see the ocean train when we briefly were ported from a cruise, a transatlantic cruise. We were ported in Halifax, and we're like, hey, that's the ocean. So excited, let's get on that. Everybody says we should do it. And our hearts are all broken.
And also, everybody wanted to see us ride the Adirondack too. And it was going to be great. We kind of timed it out for the fall colors to maybe see some nice fall scenery. That's why we kind of picked that time of year, but it is not to be. And it's just really disappointing. That's our third Amtrak vacation now that has been canceled in the last 3 years. So this is becoming a little bit of a trend, which we are not too happy about. Our other one, if you've seen the video on that, it was the CoStar Light. Now that one got canceled the day before that we were supposed to take it, which is even a little more off-putting. And then the year before that, the Missouri River Runner got canceled when we got to the station, the day of. So that was even tougher. Now, on the Missouri River Runner one, they did actually put us on a bus, so that was okay. CoStar Light, that was just, you can't go. We're not going to make it. So we just had to rent a car and drive to where we were going.
Yeah, and we were actually headed to a cruise, which left like the next day. So we were running out of time there, and we had to figure out what is the fastest way we could get there. And the fastest way we could do was basically to control it ourselves, rent a car, do a classic road trip from Seattle all the way down to Los Angeles. We went and saw our daughter and then got on the cruise, made it in time to get to Long Beach and hop on the cruise. But it is, frustrating when you have to change plans like that. But this one really is, in particular, is a bit of a pain because on the CoStar Light, we could rent a car. On the Missouri River Runner, they put us on a bus. But this leaves us in another country.
Yeah, which is a little harder. And the issue seems to be heat-related issues on the tracks in Canada. So the problems, they said, were north of the border, and they've got heat-related issues, just haven't been fixed. in a timely manner, and we're just not sure when that's going to be fixed. This is probably the worst train to try to get on as far as timeliness or having it canceled in the whole system.
Yeah, I think this is our fourth attempt at trying to get on this train. So I'm starting to give up hope on this train. If anybody at Amtrak wants to make this happen one of these days, let us know. But this is our fourth attempt trying to get on the Adirondack.
So we're going to talk a little bit about how to protect against this, because this is something, we travel on Amtrak a lot, and we have, like we said, had this happen 3 times, which isn't that many times compared to how many times we travel. But if you're going on your first trip, you really don't want to get that canceled, because that would be a pretty bad experience. You'd probably never do it again. So how do you protect against this? And the first way to do that is to just don't book a route that has known issues.
Absolutely. This one is a repeated issue. They thought they had it taken care of. They did have some extra time during that 2020 time frame where it was, shut down indefinitely. Things were not taken care of. They were expected to be taken care of, and it wasn't. So that makes it a little extra, frustrating. So we should have known better because there are clearly known issues on this particular route. But, it's definitely something to keep in mind. If you've seen, such and such route has problems multiple times, then we should heed that.
Another one that has a lot of issues, and it's another one that we had canceled, was the Coast Starlight. So if you really don't want to have your first trip canceled, probably don't book the Coast Starlight. It got canceled on ours because of flooding. We've also seen it canceled because of wildfires, and we've also seen it canceled because of erosion, bridge collapses, a whole host of things.
Mudslides.
Could cancel the Coast Starlight. Because it's right on the coast, it's a very fragile route, so that's probably not the best one to pick. But just don't pick a route that is, I would term fragile, because things can happen to it real often.
Yeah, and that's really, like you're saying, if this is like, your dream vacation, definitely keep these things in mind if you don't want, your dream trip to be ruined. If it's somebody, like us and you travel a lot on it, then, you kind of take that with, take the lumps as you go along. But if this is, your dream trip that you're planning out, I would definitely heed these things that we're saying here.
The next one that you don't want to do if you're trying to avoid this is don't book routes from cities with only one option. So our problem here was that we were going to be stuck in Montreal because there's no other trains to America from Montreal. So if you are kind of at the end of the line, that's your only recourse. So if you are in Chicago and your train gets canceled, well, you can even get to the same destination going a bunch of ways. If you're in Chicago and you're going to Seattle on the Empire Builder, well, they could put you on the California Zephyr and then the Coast Starlight and get you there. It'd take a little bit longer, but you could still do your trip. If you're at the end of the line, that's just it, and your options become severely limited.
Yeah.
You may just have to cancel the whole thing then at that point.
Yeah, that is the tough part, is the end of the line, and it's the only train that leaves from that station to go, out of there to where you're trying to go. So that's what makes it, really complicated.
Summer travel is also more prone to cancellations, slowdowns, shutdowns. That's when the heat restrictions, heat problems do come in. You'll have, even on the California Zephyr in the summer, the trains will need to go slower, and we've been on it many times where they said this train's just going to be late because heat restrictions are in place. There's no way they can make it there in time, and it's going to cause all kinds of delays and problems. Also in the summer, you're going to get a lot more wildfires. You're going to get all kinds of weather-related problems. So it is easily the hardest time to ride Amtrak and not get your train canceled.
Yeah, and then on top of that, it actually is the most expensive time to travel anyways, so you got like the double whammy there. It's going to be more expensive if you try to travel in the summer anyways, more crowded, I mean, the trains are going to be booked solid. It's going to be hard to get a seat in the sightseer lounge and the observation car. It's going to be hard to rotate in for dining car and those types of things. So keep those things in mind. The summer is a really, we've said it many times in our other videos before, summer is a really hard time to travel, but apparently also early fall.
Yeah, so we're really hoping our other ones don't get canceled now, because the very first trip we're taking when we get back to the States is Coast Starlight and in the fall. So let's hope that one stays intact. We have a lot of Amtrak trips booked in the next few months, and we're super excited about them, but this is just a really bad start. It's just really bad. And if you want the best chance of having your train not canceled, or not being left out to dry, it's going to be the East Coast, because there's so many different trains that go so many different places that they can make up for things there a lot easier. And the weather is not as extreme on the East Coast either. You're not going to have a lot of wildfires and things like that out there. They're going to cause massive delays.
Yeah, and the other thing also is the on-time, report card from the East Coast trains is way better than the on-time report card from the West Coast trains as well. So there's actually tons of trains on the East Coast that are really fantastic, great options, incredible views, and will still give you a great vacation. So those, definitely don't leave those out just because they're not going across the country.
Yeah, we're interested in knowing how many trains, like we've had 3 canceled. How many have you had canceled? Let us know in the comments how many you've had canceled and how many you've taken, so we can kind of get an idea of the percentage. We don't really know how many trains we've taken, but it is a lot, and we've had 3 canceled, so that's a pretty low percentage. But I'm interested in knowing what percentage of trains you've had canceled. Maybe you've never had one canceled. Let us know that. That would be awesome if that was the case. Not the case for us, though.
Yeah, I mean, we've probably done hundreds of trips, including trips in Europe, which a lot of times those are notorious for, having the strikes and stuff there too, and having people's trips be canceled. We've actually been extremely fortunate. We only had one situation where it was close, it was going to be canceled on the Caledonian Sleeper because of a hurricane. But other than that, we've done, pretty good for the most part. I think 3 is low for the number of trips that we've done, but we'll see. We'll take a poll, so let us know down in the comment section. Hopefully this was helpful to you, and hopefully this will be useful for you to help you to know when to book and what to do to avoid having your vacation ruined or canceled. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys next time.